This is Jarrod Horak for the runawayhorse.com, and this is my latest Preakness preview video. Now right now we're at Friday, September 18th, so we're a little more than 2 weeks away from the Preakness, and the Preakness will be Saturday, October 3rd, 2020 this year, and it's the final leg of the Triple Crown. So right now there are 12 horses that are still possible for the Preakness. Now of course things could change. We could have some of these horses, a few may not run, and then maybe someone else will jump in. We saw that with the Derby shuffle, with some horses jumping in at the last minute. Like Mr. Big News, he was a late addition to the Derby and he ended up running third. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. But these are the horses right now that are pointing to the Preakness. And let's just kind of go through that and see which ones seem to have a realistic shot at defeating your Kentucky Derby winner, Authentic. Now let's throw the possible horses up right now. Liveyourbeastlife is one that is now jumped into the fray, and they're going to decide that they want to run this horse in the Preakness. He was second in the Jim Dandy Stakes last time out. Now, he's one that'll probably do his best running in the late going. Not a bad effort. He seems to be improving after that last race, but he's going to have to continue to improve if he wants to step up and face horses and defeat horses like this. Swiss Skydiver, the filly for trainer Ken McPeak, she's possible for the Preakness. She's going to have a workout Saturday of this week. So tomorrow she's supposed to work, and then maybe they'll make a decision. There are other races that she may run in, but McPeak is considering the Preakness Stakes for Swiss Skydiver. She's been good all year. She's just traveled everywhere. She's faced the males. She was second to Art Collector in the Bluegrass Stakes. So she's one she's done well against males before. She has early pressing speed. She has a lot of class. She ran well, finishing second in the Kentucky Oak. She's just been first or second in a bunch of races this year, traveling all over the place. It's just a question of how many times can she continue to travel and face top company and keep maintaining that top form. But she would be interesting, at least, if nothing else, from a pace standpoint, if she would run in the Preakness. Mystic Guide was your Jim Dandy winner. I picked him in that race. I also picked him in the Peter Pan, where he just broke slow, and the speed did not come back that day. He ended up finishing a clear third, and then they put blinkers on last time. I gave him another chance, and he ran well in that Jim Dandy Stakes, winning that one. He's another one that likes to run from off the pace, and just like Liveyourbeastlife, his sire is Ghost Zapper. So this one probably has enough stamina to go the distance, and he's going to be hoping for a pace meltdown. The Happy Saver is the next one that's possible for the Preakness for trainer Todd Pletcher. Now, he received an automatic berth into the Preakness when he won the Federico Tessio Stakes at Laurel Park. Now, he's 3 for 3 lifetime, slightly raced, outstanding pedigree. A Kentucky Derby winner, Super Saver, is his sire. So he's one that seems to have a world of potential. It's just a question of how good is he. We don't know yet. The Tessio Stakes, he won that one. He wasn't spectacular there, but he did what he had to do to get the job done. He's going to have to jump up and run the race of his life, but he hasn't lost yet, and he's got a lot of upside, and Happy Saver is one that his best races are ahead of him. Dr. Post from the Todd Pletcher barn, he really disappointed in that Jim Dandy Stakes at Saratoga last time out, finishing 4th as the favorite. Before that, he was 3rd in the Haskell. He ran a good race in the Belmont. He was 2nd. So he's one that seemed to be making nice progress. And then when the Haskell came along, the speed didn't come back. Authentic was able to hold on to win by a nose over New York traffic that day. Dr. Post didn't get any pace help, and he ended up finishing 3rd. And it looked like he would probably propel off of that race, maybe in winning the Jim Dandy, or maybe skipping the Jim Dandy, or just running in the Preakness, or wherever they were going to go. But it didn't work out. He just did not run well in the Jim Dandy. So now it's tough to like him off of that race, but he has run races in the past, like his runner-up finish in the Belmont Stakes, that would make him a contender in the Preakness. 1,000 Words, he's one that flipped in the paddock in the Derby, and he scratched, and obviously his stablemate Authentic won the Derby, but 1,000 Words has shown a lot of ability throughout his career. He's got good running style versatility. He likes to be up on the pace, and he fights hard when he gets to the front. He's won 3 stakes races in his career. He was a good 2-year-old. They paid more than $1 million for him. He tailed off in the middle of the year, and then he's rounding back into form again after a nice win in the Shared Belief Stakes last time out. So he could impact the pace. Now, Authentic, he was able to just get out there, control the pace in the Derby, and go wire to wire. I didn't pick him in the Derby, I thought that the 1.25 mile distance was going to be too much for him, and he just wasn't going to be able to get that distance. He certainly proved me wrong that day. He was able to get out, control the pace, and defeat Tiz the Law and Honor AP, among others. And then Honor AP has since retired. He had a tendon injury, so he won't have to worry about facing that one. We'll have to see if Tiz the Law runs in this race or not. But Authentic, when he can get out there and control the pace, he's now proven that if he can at least get out there and control it, he can go at least 1.25 miles. But we don't know how he would react if he didn't get the lead, or if he was battling on the pace. But under the right circumstances, Authentic is certainly capable of winning the Preakness. But I think if he doesn't get the lead, or he has to overcome pace pressure, I really wouldn't want to play him, because he was 8-1 in the Kentucky Derby. He's going to be your favorite in the Preakness, and he's just not going to offer a lot of value. I wouldn't want to take a chance betting him that he can overcome pace pressure at low odds. That's one of the main concerns. Not that I wouldn't use him in some positions or in some saver tickets, but he could be vulnerable in the Preakness if the pace heats up. Art Collector is one that could certainly challenge Authentic at any point. He had a minor foot injury. He missed the Kentucky Derby. He would have been one of the strong favorites for the Derby. He has excellent running style versatility. He's won multiple stakes races in a row. He went to the front and easily won the Ellis Park Derby. He tracked the pace in the Bluegrass Stakes. In one of his other wins against 3 rivals, he controlled the pace. Another win earlier this year, he rallied from off the pace. So they can kind of place him anywhere. He's razor sharp. It's just a question of how that foot injury is going to affect his performance in the Preakness. We're going to really watch his workouts. He's supposed to have a workout along with Authentic and 1,000 Words. They're supposed to both work out tomorrow for Saturday, September 19th. So all those horses are actually supposed to work out tomorrow, along with Swiss Skydiver. I mean, we'll get a better idea of where Art Collector is. You'd like to see a nice solid work. His trainer seems to think he's doing well, but it's just a question of if he can just get back to that form from either the Ellis Park Derby or the Bluegrass Stakes. He can be positioned anywhere close to Authentic. He can go to the front if he wants to. He can sit off of that one. He can stalk if the pace gets too hot. So our Collector has a lot of versatility, and he's a dangerous win contender if he brings his A game. Mr. Big News popped up out of nowhere and ran 3rd in the Derby. That was more than anything else. That's what cost me winning anything in the Kentucky Derby, because I didn't really use Mr. Big News. It just seemed like, looking on paper from speed figures and everything else, that there were a lot of other horses with better late speed, and they just had better form than he did. But he was able, hats off to his trainer, Brett Calhoun, for having him ready to run a big race on the first Saturday in September and finishing 3rd at long odds in that Kentucky Derby. And he's come back since and he's training well. He had a workout and he's had a lot of energy. So he's looking good, maybe for at least a minor award if he continues to hold this kind of form. Mr. Big News was a surprise though last time, and he's not going to be that kind of price. I'm sure that he could be more in the 8 to 10 to 1 range after a solid effort like that. And if he was, maybe worth trying to beat. But he certainly seems to be getting good at the right time, along with Authentic. Tiz the Law, your beaten favorite in the Kentucky Derby for trainer Barkley Tagg. He's possible for the Preakness. At this point, it seems like they're kind of leaning towards waiting for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Maybe too many big races in a row for him. He's been in training a long time this year. He won the Holy Bull Stakes, the Florida Derby, the Belmont Stakes, the Travers. He was just in excellent form. And then in the Kentucky Derby, he was 2nd. And just running maybe back-to-back 1.25 mile races for him after he just busted out with a career best speed figure. And he just won the Travers so easily at 1.25 miles. And then 4 weeks later in the Kentucky Derby, he could not duplicate that speed figure. He's clearly regressed. He just was not quite up to that kind of form. And he couldn't catch Authentic. He made a bid to go after him, but he just didn't have enough energy, late energy, to go with him. So now he hasn't really bounced back energy level-wise where they want him to be. He hasn't had any workouts yet for the Preakness, so we'll have to see if they end up running in the Preakness or not. Right now, it seems like the way that they're leaning and the way the horse is going, that they would like to wait for the Breeders' Cup Classic, because even if he runs in the Preakness, he would still have 5 weeks to the Breeders' Cup. But I think he would have to be really doing well in his next work and in his subsequent gallops and to show a lot more energy before they would decide to run him in the Preakness. But obviously, if he did run in the Preakness and he ran back to his Travers, there's nobody in this field that can run that kind of number, and he would most likely win it. But now at this point, after he didn't run as well on the Derby, and he would probably, there's a possibility that he would even be the favorite in the Preakness, that maybe he would be worth trying to beat along with Authentic. And then finally, Pneumatic. This one for trainer Steve Asmussen. The sire is Uncle Mo, and he seems to be on the upswing. Looked good winning the Preakness Stakes last time out. He was 4th in the Belmont earlier this year. He's one that he's been slowly improving. I just think the biggest question is distance. Now, after his last race in the Pegasus, he looks so good, stalking wide. I like his running style. I like that he can stalk. And I like that he seems to be on the improve. The only question would be the mile and 3/16 distance. But Pneumatic could be the now horse coming into the Preakness Stakes. He's fresh. He's got some class. He has good connections in his corner. And he's one that I think could certainly be an upsetter in the 2020 Preakness. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, make some comments in the comment section. Who do you like at this early stage of the Preakness? I know a lot of people obviously like Authentic. Based on my Derby video when I gave out the top 5 reasons why I thought Authentic won, a lot of people were giving me a hard time, but that's fine. You know, I've been doing this a long time. I'm confident that everything that I said was factual, that Authentic improved. That was the #1 reason why he won. That Tiz the Law regressed speed figure wise off of his Travers. That Honor AP clearly had a troubled trip and lost a lot of ground. He ran, I think, 49 feet further than the winner, so he actually ran the best final time if you take into account lost ground. Other speed horses scratched out of the race, which made Authentic's job easier. And then the later date of the Derby also helped Authentic. So all of those factors, along with Bob Baffert doing a nice job getting him ready for the race, and John Velasquez putting him on the lead where he needed to be. So all of those factors combined helped Authentic win. That doesn't mean that he's going to win the Preakness. He certainly could under the right pace circumstance, and we're going to find out in a couple weeks. So I'll be back and I'll look at another preview of the Preakness. Hopefully we'll have a much firmer idea of if Tiz the Law is going to run, and maybe if some of these other horses decide to go or not go. But we'll catch back up again next week, and then after that I'll do my Preakness video after they draw the field, and I'll give out my top choice. But until then, good luck at the races.